Welcome back to the third part of my video series around the ITIL 4 Foundation. My main goal is to help you succeed on your ITIL 4 Foundation certification path. In this video I'm going to talk about the guiding principles of service management. Hi, I'm Wieger, ITIL Master and Ambassador. A lot, if not most of the material I use in this video do come from the PeopleCert website Foundation book, LinkedIn and learner documentation. As promised in the introduction video, I would share per video which areas of the syllabus I'm going to talk about. In this video, I'm going to talk about the guiding principles, which are: focus on value, start where you are, progress iteratively with feedback, collaborate and promote visibility, think and work holistically, keep it simple and practical, optimize and automate. For the exam, you will need to understand the nature, use and interaction of the guiding principles and explain the use of the guiding principles. When I prepared for my foundation exam, I also memorized all the guiding principles, but also keep in mind you have to understand the use of the guiding principles. As I said in my earlier videos, this is not a training, just an addition to the learning path you are on to help you succeed in your ITIL 4 Foundation certification journey. These videos are just too short to cover everything you need to know. It is an addition or a refresher of everything you need to know. A final note before I move on to the next slide. These are guidances meant to facilitate practices and processes. They are not policies. Now, let's move on the next slide and talk about the guiding principles. A guiding principle is a recommendation that guides an organization in all circumstances, regardless of changes in its goals, strategies, type of work, or management structure. A guiding principle is universal and enduring. This also means in your personal life it's not just related to service management. The guiding principles are applicable to practically any initiative or decision making and to all relationships with stakeholder groups. They can be used to guide organizations in their work as they adopt a service management practice approach and adapt ITIL guidance to their own specific needs and circumstances. Are the guiding principles unique to ITIL 4? No, they are not. You also find them in other frameworks such as Lean, Agile, DevOps and COBIT. The guiding principles encourage organizations in continual improvement at all levels. They are universally applicable to nearly any initiative and to relationships with stakeholder groups. One of the remarks I picked up from a recent seminar about AI in ITSM following advice was given. If you want to start with AI and introduce AI, use the guiding principles to introduce it. The guiding principles do give you the right guidance. I personally think the guiding principles and ITIL's continual improvement model should go hand in hand. In the end, continual improvement is a deliberate made change. Focus on value. The guiding principle already says a lot. Does it add value? Is it useful? Is it beneficial to our stakeholders, customers or users? Everything we look at from a service management perspective. Keep focusing on value. If it doesn't add value, we probably shouldn't be doing it, or even try to improve it is very likely waste. To quote Elon Musk, do not try to improve anything which shouldn't be there. Looking at the features of the products and services, they can be used in a different way than we intended when we were designing them. How a customer or user uses the products and services is essential to know. Who are the stakeholders? How does the service or product create value for them? In the end, our customers use the services and products from their service providers to get a job done. From a personal practice, I know that an unintended capability sometimes can be a great feature for our customers. Customers use, in the end, our services and products to get a job done, as I just said before. An important element of value is the experience that service consumers have when they interact with the service of the service providers. The customer experience or user experience must be actively managed. When I talked about VOCR, value, outcome, cost and risks in the previous video, this is something what we need to take into consideration. How do we co-create value with our customers? When analyzing a practice, process, service, metric or other improvement target, always ask whether it contributes to value co-creation. As I said, if it doesn't, we probably shouldn't be doing it. With the remark, in some cases there could be regulatory requirements why we have to do these activities. When considering applying on value, keep this in mind. And yes, already could read them out in the previous slide, but just to highlight them. Know how service consumers use each service or product. Encourage a focus on value amongst all staff. Focus on value during normal operational activities. Focus on value during each improvement initiative. The next guiding principle, start where you are. With everything we do, always keep in mind what we already got, what is already in place. We do not have to start from scratch. There is very likely already a lot in place we can reuse. To take the key message from the foundation book, in the process of eliminating old unsuccessful methods or services and creating something better, there can be great temptation to remove what has been done in the past and build something completely new. This is rarely necessary or a wise decision. This approach can be extremely wasteful, not only in terms of time, but also in terms of the loss of existing services, processes, people, and tools that could have significant value and improvement effort. Do not start over without first considering what is already available to be leveraged. Make sure you collect data, accurate measurements on the current state, helping to make the correct decisions to move forward. Do not act upon just a gut feeling. Once we have reviewed everything and there is nothing useful, we can start from a greenfield situation, just from scratch. Applying the guiding principle. Start where you are. Look at what exists as objectively as possible. Leverage what already exists today. It will reduce the amount of work needed to transition from the current state to the desired state. Apply your risk management skills. Reusing something from the old practice or introducing a new way of working both holds risks with them. Recognize that sometimes nothing from the current state can be reused. With everything we do, keep the guiding principle progress iteratively with feedback in mind. Try to be as agile as possible. Take small steps. Celebrate these steps and give feedback on the achieved results. It works motivational for the team as well for the overall organization to get regular feedback on progress or achievement made. Large projects which take over a year, who do not take small steps and only communicate their achievements at the end on goals achieved, are likely to fail. In the end, change is the only constant. Feedback keeps us on track. It is important to also during the iterative activities or improvement initiatives to also collect feedback before, during and after the initiatives to keep everything on track, making sure the desired outcomes for the stakeholders are achieved. As a side note, change is the only constant. It is not new for the current digital era. Heraclitus, the ancient Greek philosopher, once famously stated, there is nothing permanent except change. Applying the guiding principle progress iteratively with feedback. Comprehend the whole, but do something. Do not overanalyze trying to understand every detail. Sometimes too much time is lost before anything gets done, also called analysis paralysis. Everything keeps changing, so feedback is essential. As mentioned on previous slide, everything keeps changing, the only constant. Hence, keep collecting feedback at the beginning, during, and at the end of the initiative. Fast doesn't mean incomplete. Taking small iterative steps does not mean these are incomplete. Keep in mind a minimum viable product. A minimum viable product is a product with just enough features to satisfy early customers and to provide feedback for early development projects. The guiding principle, collaborate and promote visibility. A couple of thoughts which usually cross my mind. One and one is three, two always no more than one. Hence, work together. Or another example, say what you do. It might give other people around you in the same team a thought or trigger an idea of wisdom that could help you. Hence, work together and share what you do. To take the lines from the foundation book, creative solutions, enthusiastic contribution are important perspective and can be obtained from unexpected sources. So inclusion is generally a better policy than exclusion. Cooperation and collaboration are better than isolated work, which is frequently referred to as siloed activity. Without effective collaboration, neither Agile, Lean, nor any other ITSM framework or method will work. How to apply the guiding principle, collaborate and promote visibility. Collaboration doesn't mean consensus. You do not need to have consensus with everyone. Trying to do that can cost nothing to even start. Communicate in a way that the audience can hear. Communication is often taken too lightly. It is very important. Keep in mind the audience when you communicate. Ask for feedback, but do make sure there is a form of information sharing. If an initiative is not heard upon, it is likely deemed as not being important. Decisions can only be made on visible data. Like every decision making, decisions are best made on the data that is available. If there is incomplete or lacking data, decisions might be made differently than desired or available due to the lack of information. The guiding principle, think and work holistically, make me always think of the theory of constraints. When we focused on the weakest link and improve it, with think and work holistically, we want to achieve the same thing. Look at initiative, project or improvement action end to end. Keep a holistic view. For example, have an improvement action in a department B which increases production capacity by 200%. But Department A, responsible for the input of Department B, can only deliver 15% of the capacity. The initiative is not useful, does not have a holistic view. To take the key message from the Foundation book, no service, practice, process, department or supplier stands alone. The outputs that the organization delivers to itself, its customers and other stakeholders will suffer unless it works in an integrated way to handle its activities as a whole, rather than as separate parts. All the organization's activities should be focused on the delivery of value. Applying the guiding principles, think and work holistically. Recognize the complexity of the system. Collaboration is key to thinking and working holistically. Where possible, look for patterns in the needs of and interaction between system elements. With systems in this case, keep in mind the 4 dimensions of service management. Automation can facilitate working holistically. When automating activities, it's common to take an end-to-end look at the overall value streams and processes. Keep it simple, silly. The KISS statement is what I suspect has been the inspiration for the guiding principle. Keep it simple and practical. Why should we do things in 10 steps when we can do it in 2? Maybe there are regulatory requirements which demands it. But if not, why use the 10 steps? Keep it simple, which of course does not mean by reducing the steps we make things extremely difficult. Also keep back in mind the lean principle. If steps include hands-off, that likely also means queues. From a lean perspective, queues or waste. Key message, always use the minimum number of steps to accomplish an objective. Outcome-based thinking should be used to produce practical solutions that deliver valuable outcome. If a process, service, action or metric fails to provide value or produce useful outcome, then eliminate it. Although these principles may seem obvious, it is frequently ignored, resulting in overly complex methods of work that rarely maximize outcomes or minimize costs. Applying the guiding principle, keep it simple and practical. Ensure value. Every activity should contribute to the creation of value. Simplicity. Simplify is always a good thing to do. Why do things complicated when there is a simple way to do it? Do fewer things, but do them better. Doing less things frees up time for the remaining things to do them better. Respect the time of the people involved. A process that is too complicated and bureaucratic is a poor use of the time of people involved. Easy to understand. More likely to adopt if a process or guideline is easy to understand, it is easier to follow and embed. As per the first guiding principle I talked about, focus on value is always key on any initiative we are involved with. Last but least, but also just as important as the other 6 guiding principles, optimize and automate, also a guidance using the other guidance principles. Optimize and automate is also something we see as being key when applying Google's developed SRE, Site Reliability Engineering. See if we can optimize our processes. What are the manual, repetitive tasks we constantly do? Can we automate these tasks, freeing up expensive human resources? When applying optimize and automate, also the other guiding principles should be applied. Similarly, the continuous improvement model is key here. Take measurement on where you are, define the target and execute. I know I'm skipping a few steps here. Make sure you measure the optimizing and automation process before, during and at the end. Some high-level steps to take on the path to optimization are: understand and agree the context in which the proposed optimization exists. The overall optimization should help the company vision and achieving its objectives getting there. Focus on value. Assess the current state of the proposed optimization. Use the guiding principle, start where you are. Agree what the future state and priorities of the organization should be, focusing on simplification and value. Keep it simple and practical. Ensure the optimization has the appropriate level of stakeholder engagement and commitment. Use the guiding principle, collaborate and promote visibility. Execute the improvement in an iterative way. Progress iteratively with feedback. Continue the impact of the optimization. Considering above, also look at the continual improvement model. Really very useful in driving optimization and automation. Applying the guiding principle, optimize and automate. Simplify and or optimize before automating. Define your metrics. Use the other guiding principles when applying this one. Progress iteratively with feedback. Keep it simple and practical. Focus on value. Start where you are. Now, just a very quick quiz. Only one question this time. Before I show the possible answer, think of what the answer could be. Which guiding principle are we thinking of? The correct answer is start where you are. The start where you are guiding principle recommends that services and methods already in place should be measured and are observed directly to properly understand their current state and what can be reused from them. We reached the end of this video. If you like this video, please do not hesitate to leave a comment and or like the video. Similarly, if you do not like it, let me know why you do not like it. This will allow me to an option to improve the video in the future. I hope this video is helping you to succeed on your ITIL 4 foundation path. Thank you for watching my video. Please do check out my other videos on ITIL 4.